What's going on, everybody? Hope you're enjoying your day. Today we're going to do a pretty short video. Took the liberty of getting the boring stuff out of the way, got everything prepped up. The little one is home, so we're going to do some beef tips with gravy, some mashed potatoes, and some green beans. So let's get into it. Alright, so we've got the trusted trusted cast iron skillet good and smoking hot here. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. We don't want to do this dish too fast. What we did was we took a little bit of beef top round that I had. Remember, we bought all that food in bulk and broke it down, so we just took one of those pieces and cubed it up. Not too big, it's up to you. It's a little small there, about ½ an inch or so on that. Now, one disclaimer on this: normally when I make this dish, I like to do quartered button mushrooms. It adds a really nice texture and fills out. But we're going to start with some diced onion right there. We're going to start with that in the pan. Got my co-pilot here helping me out today with food and prep and whatnot. You'll get to see him a little bit later. He's going to be making biscuits for you guys. Alright. Start off with those onions, let those go. Man, I love that smell. As those begin to cook down a little bit, we're going to hit this with a good spoon of garlic here. You don't want to cut your onions too small either, because this is a dish that you're going to allow to cook over time. You want to have that in there. You want that flavor, but you also want the texture when you get it. Or if you prefer, mash them down. I mean, whip down. It's your dish at the end of the day. This is a super easy meal to make if you've got that beef, and you can very quickly turn it into something else if you've got leftovers. You might do a little video on that. Alright, while we're letting those onions cook down, I've got my milk, my cream sitting here. It's getting warm. You never want to put cold milk into your potatoes. It's counterproductive to all that delicious work that you're doing. So we've got our potatoes going right now, boiling up. Got the cream getting warm. And once we get some more color on these onions, we're going to go in with our beef. Oh yeah. Alright, going in with our beef. Let that start to get a little color on it. Whilst we are waiting, go ahead and season that bad boy up. And always remember, you can always add, but you cannot take away, alright? So we're going to do a little salt. Start us off. Black pepper. Once I get it open, apologies. Salt and pepper. And a couple jabs of Worcestershire, the brown stuff. Alright, I'm going to hit it with that. I've got, setting aside what we're going to add here in just a moment, I've got about a cup and a half of beef stock sitting to the side as well. And we're going to add that in, and then we will let this dish simmer. Two ways you can do this. You can do this kind of quick. You can get your pan good and hot. You'll use about half the amount for this size pan, half the amount of beef. You can give the beef a really quick brown. It'll still be pretty much rare at that point. Throw your liquid in, let it get to a boil, and then thicken it, and then go. Or you can go the slow way, which we're going to do today, and really let this go slow. You didn't really get to see some of the big chunks of fat I leave in there because we're going to cook it slow. Those will melt down and really add some delicious mouthfeel and flavor to this dish. So we're going to let the beef brown off a little bit more, and we're going to add our beef stock. For you vegetarians out there, you can actually do this with tofu. Obviously, we wouldn't use the beef stock, or the Worcestershire. Worcestershire has fish in it, for those that were unaware. Check your bottle if you don't believe me. But I did a dish like this for some children. It was braised tofu. It was actually pretty popular. It's amazing. Alright, give this one more turn. And we're going to go in with our stock. Like I said, it's about 1.5 cups of stock. And looks like I need about another cup for this pan here. You want that beef to be pretty well submerged in that. Alright, so I'm going to get another cup of stock to add here. And in the meantime, we're going to let this simmer and we'll be back with you guys. Alright, so my sous chef gave me the flavor thumbs up, so we are good there. So we're going to go ahead and finish this dish off. So I see I brought this up to a boil. And the reason that I do that, I know we've spoke against that in the past. When we're doing a dish like this, you want to let it go slow. But I'm going to thicken this sauce with a roux. So a roux is just fat and flour of some sort used to thicken it. So your gumbos, your grandma's gravy, you know, she used to make the fried chicken, put the flour right in the pan. That's a roux. You've already got the grease in there. She adds the flour and thickens that up. So we're going to start with our flour. Add a little bit of veg oil to it. And a little more oil. Zoom in. A little more oil there. And you can use rice flour for a dish like this to keep it gluten-free. You can use cornstarch and water. Slurry is what we call that. You can use that as well to thicken it. The difference is being that when you use a roux, you get more, you get a gravy, you know, like what you're used to when you think a gravy, whether it be white or brown. When you use a slurry, you still get a sauce, but you get, it's a lot shinier, it's got a lot of sheen to it. So think like Asian takeout. A lot of the food you get, like your orange chicken, a lot of the times that's thickened with a slurry with cornstarch, unless they're real fancy. Pull out that arrowroot, but I don't know anyone who uses that. So we're going to use a roux for this. And in order for a roux to work, you've got to bring it up to a boil. You really want to cook that flour in and get it good and hot. And you'll feel it begin to tighten as you add it in. You'll feel it slowly thicken that sauce up a little bit. And keep it moving, otherwise it'll settle down. Make sure you stir it in. If you let that flour settle down, it'll just go right to the bottom and burn. You'll have that delicious, non-delicious, scorched flavor to all of your dishes. I'm gonna add a little more to it. Ooh, listen to that delicious sound right there. That's baby making sounds. That's where babies come from. Babies come from good gravy. It's not my opinion, it's science. I read it on YouTube. Alright, so now that we're getting there, yeah, baby. I had some parsley left over in the refrigerator from I don't really know when, to be honest with you. So I chopped it up and we're just going to throw it in there. Bam, for color. Can I say bam? That's not copyrighted, right? Alright. Throw that parsley in there. Adds a little color, adds a little flavor, not really noticeable. Biggest thing that I missed on this, and I was just being too lazy to go to the store, is the mushrooms. Mushrooms, you can do the whole dish with mushrooms, to be honest with you. If you didn't tell certain people, they wouldn't know it wasn't meat. Bang, bang. Alright. So that's where we want it. Thickness of that gravy is where I want it. I want to turn that off. Love these cast irons because they keep that heat. So it's going to keep cooking down a little bit. It'll be a little bit thicker by the time we go to plate up. Yeah, so I'm hungry. Let's plate up. Alright, so we got it plated up. Hopefully it was a pretty easy one to follow along with. I'll try to keep it a little short for you guys today. Just show you something real quick. As I said before, there were a few ingredients that were missing from what I normally do, which would be my quartered button mushrooms and a little red wine. I'm not a huge wine fan, but it really adds a nice little touch to it and makes it a nice and rich dish. So the sous chef and I are gonna go over there and enjoy this. Got our mash, got our tips and gravy there. Be on the lookout for him. He's gonna be posting a biscuit video here pretty soon. And we made a deal. We'll see if he follows through about whether or not we're making dessert today. So be on the butcher. Enjoy.